Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. If you are new here, hi, my name is Yesy. Welcome. So today's video is going to be a drugstore full face of first impressions. So lately I've been getting pretty excited about the drugstore new releases. Not so much high-end, I don't know why, but like I feel like the drugstore is killing the game lately, and I've just, every time I go to Target or Ulta, I'm like, man, I want to try this, or I want to try this, or I even see it online or anything and I'm like, damn, I really want to try it. So I figured this weekend I went to Ulta and Target. Mostly everything that I got was from Target, I feel, or maybe half and half. So half from Target, half from Ulta, and it's basically all drugstore makeup. So I literally have an entire full face of drugstore makeup. There's a lot of e.l.f. just because I feel like e.l.f. is coming out with so many things that look so cool and they're so freaking cheap, and I'm like, I have to try it. So I have the bag right here. Excuse the lighting, I have my window open and the sun is like going up and down and I don't even know. But okay, so I have literally full bag of a full face right now, meaning primer. The only thing that I didn't get was an eyebrow pencil because I had just picked one up from e.l.f. a couple of weeks ago and I love it. So yeah, my brows are already done. That is the only thing that I didn't pick up like new, but everything else brand new, still in packaging. Oh, and setting spray because I have the Morphe setting spray that's technically drugstore price, and now you can get it out of Ulta, so it's kind of like drugstore. That's really the only thing that's not a first impression, my eyebrows and the setting spray. But I did get a brow gel, so basically a full face. All right, so let's get started. For primer, I picked up this hydrating primer from e.l.f. Only $6, and they came out, I saw that they came out with, I want to say like 6 different face primers. They had an illuminating one, hydrating, a mineral one, they had a matte one, they had a pore filler one, they had an acne, like a green one, like a corrector, they had a purple one. Like they had a bunch of new primers. So I figured I would pick up the hydrating one just because, I don't know, I like to feel my face hydrated. Sometimes I'll go for a pore filler one, but I'll always use a hydrating one first. So I picked up the hydrating one. I was in between this one and the mineral one. The mineral one was white, but I wasn't sure if it had maybe an iridescent, which that I would have liked that. But I don't know, I just wasn't sure, so I just figured let's go with hydrating. Hydration is always good. Oh, it's white. It's not even teal, I guess. I don't know. Oh, it feels, wow, I was not expecting this texture at all. It kind of feels a little silicone-y. It reminds me, am I sure I picked up the hydrating one? Yeah, it says hydrating face primer. First ingredient, dimethicone. Honestly, it reminds me of a mix between the No Problems primer from Touch in Sol and the Farsali Skin Tibbler, whatever, the little teal one. Yeah, it has like a mix of both of those together. But I mean, I'm not mad at it, but I was just expecting a completely different type of primer. But it's not too bad. It feels decent on the face. Has a nice pore filling situation going on. So for foundation, I was a bit disappointed just because there's so many drugstore launches and like you can only get them online. Because I went to 2 different Targets and 1 Ulta, and I didn't find any of the new Milani stick foundations. I didn't find any of the Milani concealers because they launched the new concealers. I didn't find any, Wet n Wild came out with stick foundations as well. I didn't find those. I don't know, I was just kind of discouraged with the foundation game from the drugstore. But at the second Target that I went to, they did have this e.l.f. foundation, and I had never seen this one before, and they had a pretty good range of shades. I want to say there was about 20 foundation shades, which is pretty good for drugstore because drugstore, like their foundation and powder range sucks, like absolutely sucks. If you're any darker than medium tan, like you're not getting your shade. The drugstore definitely needs to step up their game as far as foundations and powders. So I was really shocked to see that e.l.f. came out with a bunch of shades in their foundation. So I figured, let me try it. It is their Flawless Finish Foundation. It says it's a satin finish, oil-free satin finish. I got the shade Vanilla, so I don't know if this is my shade because all of them were sealed and I really didn't want to sit there and break open a bunch of to like test them out, and they didn't have testers at Target. So and I didn't find any that were already open. Like if there was a bottle already open, I would have tested it out, but I didn't want to sit there and like open a bunch and then just ruin product. So kind of guessed from the outside of the bottle that this would be my shade, and it was the third one. I believe they had like a light shade, they had another one, and then it was this one, and then I want to say it was like a medium or something beige. I don't remember the names, but this is the third shade. The other one looked a little too dark, so I honestly, I really wasn't sure. I wasn't sure, so I just went with Vanilla, and hopefully that's my shade. If not, we'll figure it out. So I'm gonna take a pump. I'm actually gonna take 2 pumps because I always do 2 pumps. And I'm gonna take my Real Techniques Super Humongous Sponge and just start. I think it's pretty good match. It's literally like my exact skin color. It definitely has a fragrance. It kind of reminds me of the, not so fragrancy as the Huda Beauty foundation, but definitely something similar. This is definitely medium coverage. It's not full coverage by any means. Yeah, definitely medium coverage, because I can still see, I want to say medium to light coverage, because I'm gonna need way more. I'm gonna do another 2 pumps because it is a little bit buildable. As far as after 4 pumps, I got the somewhat desired coverage that I wanted, but it's a light to medium coverage for sure. It's definitely not full coverage at all, but it is buildable, and I don't mind the finish. It is pretty tacky, so I would suggest like not touching your face, and I'm pretty sure I'm gonna have to set this foundation, but it sunk into my skin pretty fine. I don't see that it's like really sitting on top of my skin yet, but yeah, this is definitely a light to medium coverage, not full coverage at all, because I do still see my blemishes a little bit right here. Hoping concealer will fix that, but yeah, we'll see. Speaking of concealer, I also picked up the e.l.f. Camouflage Concealer. So I picked up the Camouflage Concealer. I heard so many good things about this. So many people are like loving this concealer, and it's so freaking cheap. My Target didn't have much selection. Like they literally, I know that this concealer comes in a bunch of shades. I want to say it's like 20 shades I think this concealer comes in, but my Target specifically didn't have all the shades, and the shade up from this one was sold out. So I chose the shade Medium Peach just because I really wanted to try it. And usually concealers, like I can pretty much work with them. It might be a little bit light, but I'm pretty sure I can work with it. Yeah, this is pretty light. We are gonna go with it. Oh yeah, this literally looks like white on camera right now. We'll make it work. I really like this concealer. Try and cover up whatever situation that foundation didn't cover up. I definitely like this concealer. The shade is definitely too light for me, and especially now that we're getting into warmer weather, especially here in Miami, it's gonna be a bit too light for me, but the formula on this, and I love the applicator, great. I really do like it, and yeah, I can definitely make this shade work, but I know that it's gonna be too light for me in the upcoming weeks. So this is not new by any means. It's not a new release, but I've never tried it and I've heard great things about this powder. So this is the Maybelline Fit Me Loose Finishing Powder. I got the shade Fair Light because yeah, that's just the shade I got. The other shade looked a little bit too peachy for me, and I don't really like my powders to be peachy, so I figured let's just go with the light. Either way, I usually use this powder for my under eyes anyways, so. Don't know how I feel about this powder just yet. On my nose, it feels like it's just like sitting there and it feels a little bit dry. Don't know if it's the foundation or the powder, but we'll see. I'm gonna set my smile lines. I'm gonna go ahead and just set the rest of my face with whatever's left in the cap. The foundation has definitely sunk into the skin a little more and it's way less tacky, but so now we're gonna move on to the eyes. Honestly, for the eyes, I was not as excited for because, to be honest, there hasn't been any eyeshadow palettes that I'm like, oh my god, I have to have, and especially at the drugstore. Honestly, ColourPop is the one that I gear more towards, like their releases, because their eyeshadow palettes lately have been pretty bomb. I haven't bought any, but like the e.l.f. palette that she came out with like a couple of months ago, that palette looked beautiful. The Becky G palette looked beautiful. Like, I feel like ColourPop is doing way better like palette wise, so I haven't really gotten as excited for like drugstore palettes. But I did see this e.l.f. palette that was really nice, and I've been really into pinky tones lately, so I figured this is the one that spoke to me the most out of all the palettes I saw at the drugstore. So this is the one that we picked up. And I think this is new because I honestly didn't see this last month. So this one's the Rose Gold Eyeshadow Palette in Sunset. Okay, sorry guys, my camera ran out of battery and I quickly like just switched it. Okay, so we're gonna go into this eyeshadow palette and I'm gonna start off with this pink rosy shade right here as my transition. I'm taking this on a fluffy brush, just buffing that in our crease. I think I want to do like an all matte look with a gold inner corner. What do you guys think? This eyeshadow, super pigmented, really nice. I love the e.l.f. Matte for Matte palette. I have the like cool tone, neutral tone one, and honestly, it is bomb.com. Like, those shadows are great, and this is so cheap. This is $10. This palette right here. So I think I'm gonna dip into this shade right here. It is like a maroon shade, and I'm gonna take this. It's a fluffy brush as well, but it's a little bit more dense. And I'm gonna concentrate this in our outer corner and drag it in the inner corner. Guys, these shadows are blending beautifully, beautifully. I don't know why I have one eye that blends better than the other. Does anybody have that? Because yeah, this eye just doesn't work out as good as this eye. Side note, as I'm looking at the foundation right now, it definitely got way matter than what I thought it was gonna be. I thought it was gonna have a more satin finish, but it definitely looks a lot more matte. But it doesn't feel heavy on my skin, so I guess that's fine. All right, let's continue with the eyes. I'm now going to take this brush right here. It's a little more flat and dense. So I'm gonna take that brush and I'm gonna go into this shade right here. It is a metallic, but it's like a burgundy red metallic, and I'm gonna get this on this brush and I'm gonna put it all over our lid like a light wash of color. Okay, so the metallic is not that metallic. See how it swatches? It swatches very light. So honestly, like, I am not digging the metallic as much as I am the mattes. Like, the mattes blend so nice, they're pigmented, creamy, but the metallic just doesn't have the shine payoff that I would like, and it's very sheer. I mean, for this look, it doesn't look too bad because I didn't want anything like super intense or shocking. I wanted like a light wash of color. So for this look, I feel like it's fine, it's good, but it's definitely not my favorite. So I'm gonna go back into the second shade we used right here and deepen out that outer corner. Go back into that first rosy shade that we used. Just blend everything out a little more. So for the lower lash line, I'm going to take that second to last shade again, and with a flat definer brush, put that on my lower lash line. Now I'm going to take a pencil brush and go into the first shade we used, that rosy shade, and just blend out that lower lash line. So for my inner corner, I want to take the first shade. It's a very light gold shade. Let's see how this works out. I'm not digging this gold shade too much, but we'll work with it. I'm putting it on my brow bone as well. I'll most likely go over it maybe with the highlight that we use, but the mattes in this palette are freaking bomb. The metallics, not so much. So yeah, so the eyes are pretty much done. I did a quick and easy look, just something cranberry, warm, kind of smoky. So yeah, I'm digging it. Ooh, I'm actually not done with the eye. So I also picked up this LA Girl eyeliner. It is a nude eyeliner. I've been on the hunt for a nude eyeliner just because the one that I have is from Wet n Wild and it freaking sucks. So I wanted one that's like nice and creamy, and I saw LA Girl had a nude one, so I was like, you know what, let me try it. It's cheap. I think this was like $3 or something like that. And honestly, LA Girl is known for having pretty good things for being so cheap. This is what it looks like. It's one of these retractable ones. It's kind of like their lip liners. So let's see how this works in our waterline. Oh wow. It's pretty creamy. Wow, it's so good. It's literally nothing like the Wet n Wild one that I have. It's so creamy. I'll let you guys know how it wears throughout the day, but wow. For this look, I wouldn't typically wear a nude liner like this, but for a really dark smoky eye to open up your eyes, this is bomb. Okay, so let's move on to the rest of the face. So for bronzer, I picked up this new bronzer from Wet n Wild. I'm a little skeptical because it has a lot of shimmer in it. Like, I love Wet n Wild blushes, and I do have one of their contour kits too that I used to freaking love. So I feel like I'm gonna like the bronzers. So I'm going to take this LA Girl fluffy brush, dip into this bronzer. Ooh, it's a little bit warm. This is the shade, Palm Beach Ready. It does have a nice sheen, but it does kind of accentuate the texture that I have on my cheeks. If you don't have texture on your cheeks, that's probably wouldn't be a problem, but it's definitely giving me J-Lo vibes, super glowy and bronzy. I feel like this is a perfect bronzer for summer. So for blush, I picked up this blush from e.l.f. It is their new primer infused blush. So Buxom came out with a primer infused blush as well, and I've heard a lot of people talking about it and they love it. So when I saw that e.l.f. came out with one, I was like, hey, let me try e.l.f., see if it's good, even though I've never tried the Buxom one, but this is definitely way cheaper than buying a Buxom one. And it's super big. This is in the shade Always Cheeky. Looks like this. Oh my god, I love this color. And it's super, super pigmented. I'm assuming since it's primer infused, it'll last longer on your skin. Usually blush is like your first thing to fade off your face. I like the combination of the matte blush with the more shimmery bronzer. It gives a nice look to the face. All right, now let's move on to brow gel. Another e.l.f. product. I picked up a clear brow gel. Mine was running out, so I really needed one. And I saw e.l.f. has one, so why not try it? Because they're super cheap and pretty good. Oh, this is a really small. I wasn't expecting the wand to be this small. It feels pretty nice. Don't know how I feel about the wand being so small. It's a little bit flimsy, but I guess we'll see how my brows hold. They did come out with tinted ones as well, so I wonder if those are good. I'll probably pick those up next if this turns out good. Now let's move on to mascara. I picked up the Milani, what is this? Milani Highly Rated 10-in-1 Volume Mascara. I've never tried any of Milani's mascaras, but I have been hearing that lately they've been coming out with good mascara. But I don't think it's this one. I'm not sure which one it is. I want to say I heard Kathleen talk about it. Kathleen Knights here on YouTube. She talked about a Milani one that was really good. And I don't know who else, but this is the only one that the last Target that I went to had. So yeah, that's what we're going with. I like the applicator. Hi, so I'm editing my video right now and I realized that my lips or highlight or setting spray didn't record. So my camera must have run out of battery again or run out of space. I don't even know, and I guess I didn't realize that it didn't film any of it, and I didn't want to waste this entire video like of first impressions after I bought everything and filmed the whole thing. So I'm gonna let you guys know what I used. I used this Morphe lip liner. It's in the shade Spiffy for my lip line. And then for lipstick, I used a Morphe Creme lipstick in the shade Cot. And then for lip gloss, I used this e.l.f. Plumping lip gloss. It's in the shade Champagne Glam. I love this lip gloss. And then for highlights, I used the Wet n Wild highlight in the shade Precious Petals. You'll obviously see my thoughts at the end of the video, but I just wanted to let you guys know that's what happened. That's why the whole, like, you're gonna see me right now with a full face all ready to go. So yeah, I am sorry about that, and I hope you enjoyed this video and continue watching. Thank you, bye. So I filmed the entire outro, and I don't even know what got recorded because my camera ran out of memory. So I'm gonna go ahead and just tell you guys everything, and hopefully, I don't even know. This video has been a mission to record. Okay, so this is the final look. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. All in all, I loved all of the products. There wasn't anything that I was like, oh my god, it was terrible. There was a couple of things that were not my favorite, and maybe some things that I'm like, maybe I won't pick up as much, but there was nothing terrible. Everything was overall good. The foundation, this is one of the ones that I'm like about, just because the Wet n Wild Photo Focus foundation is so bomb, so full coverage, buildable, and it's the same exact price, $6. This one does have a nice finish. I really like the way my face looks. My smile lines are like not pronounced as much as they usually are. So I do like the finish of the foundation. However, I don't like the coverage. It's too light for my taste. I like something more medium to full that I can build up. But it's not bad. It did have kind of like a matte finish, but after I sprayed it with some setting spray, it's still a little bit matte, but it's not too bad. It's very comfortable to wear though. It's pretty comfortable. So this is one of the ones that I'm like, not my fave, but not bad at all whatsoever. The primer was pretty good too. The texture, I was expecting something completely different, but it's really not bad. Not a bad primer, especially for the price. Like, it's definitely something that I'll pick up. Not too bad, just not anything that will blow me away. The setting powder as well, the same thing. It wasn't something that blew me away, but it was a good powder. A little bit dry, but once you put it with setting spray, like, I feel like it melts into your skin and it's good. The concealer, so bomb. I so wish that I would have gotten another shade, because definitely this shade is not going to work for me in the summer, but it's so freaking good. The formula, the wand, everything. I really like this concealer. So the concealer was a super hit. The eyeshadow palette, honestly, it was really good for the mattes. The shimmers were a little lackluster. They were like, They didn't give you any really like metallic-y finish. It was just a very light, not as pigmented, but it did give me a nice look. It gave me a nice wash on my lid, which is what I wanted. But if you want something like metallic-y, bold, pigmented, you're not gonna get it in this palette. The mattes, however, are so creamy, so pigmented. They blend so freaking nice. I will get this palette just for the mattes, honestly, because they're so good. The eyeliner, bomb. Honestly, go to your local Ulta or wherever they sell LA Girl and buy the freaking liner, because it is so good, so creamy. Look, it's still on my eye right now. It's been on my eyes for like 30 minutes, hasn't washed away, super pigmented. Like, I've struggled a lot with nude liners because a lot of nude liners just don't work. I think that's a little bit hard to formulate because it's nude. It won't show up as much on your waterline, but this one is so pigmented, so nice, and I definitely recommend the eyeliner. Mascara, I feel like there's other mascaras at the drugstore that are so good, like the Lash Paradise one, the L'Oreal Carbon Black. This one's good. It's not bad at all. It's really good, but it's not as good as the other ones, so I would definitely use the other ones more over this one, but it's still good. Really surprised with the bronzer. I thought that shimmeriness was gonna throw me off. In the beginning, it kind of did, and I feel like it's a little bit dark for me right now, but I know that in the summer it's gonna look so good. It definitely gives you that J.Lo glow. It does emphasize texture, so be careful with that. But if you have really good skin, especially like on your cheek area, you'll be fine. The bronzer is really nice, and I really liked it in combination with the blush. That primer infused blush is bomb. So pigmented, so smooth, and the color is so good. I love this color. They only have 3 colors, I think. They have like a more pinky one and like I feel like a darker rosy one. But this one honestly is so nice, and the formula is really nice. I really recommend the blush. The brow gel. I really like the brow gel. Honestly, I was thrown off by the wand. The wand was a little flimsy and small, but I guess it gets into your little hairs, and it definitely made them really feathery. I'll let you guys know how it holds. It definitely has some like grip to them, but it doesn't feel like your brows are gonna die. So I guess I'll let you know how I feel more about the brow, but so far I like it. The lips. So the liner from Morphe is freaking bomb. I know that's not new, but I've never tried it before, and a lot of wooden liners, some are really like dry. Like some of the MAC ones are really dry, but this one was really nice. It glided on really nice, and the color is beautiful. I love the color, and yeah, so I really like it. The lipstick, super good. I love Morphe lipsticks. I have 2 already that I use all the time. So yeah, this is the creme finish one, and I really like it. I like the color. But the gloss, I am loving this e.l.f. gloss. Like, this e.l.f. gloss is amazing. Like, it literally leaves my lips like feeling super glossy, looking so juicy and plump. It does have a little bit of that tingly feeling, but nothing that makes you uncomfortable or anything like that. So, and I love the gold reflex. I guess that's what makes it look so like glossy and shiny, not sticky. I really like this gloss. So if you need to pick up a gloss from the drugstore, I definitely recommend the e.l.f. one. It is in the shade Champagne Glam. So yeah, I think that pretty much sums up everything. I pretty much liked every single thing. Like I said, there were some things that I'm not crazy about, but they're still really good products. So I'm super happy that I spent all this money and everything came out good. So yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I hope you guys got some feedback. So if you do want to buy any of these products, like, you kind of know more or less my opinion and how it worked on my skin type and on me. So yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Don't forget to comment, like, share, and subscribe, and turn on your post notifications to see when I post my next video, and I will see you in the next one. Bye guys.